I started to question my beliefs when I started to question what I consider to be kind of the two base assumptions of Christianity. And that is that God is good and that the Bible is true. And so I've had so many interesting conversations with Christians about these assumptions. And, generally when I ask people, why do you believe the Bible is true? I usually get either some variation of there's so much evidence, or something that ends up boiling down to it just feels true. And I understand that. I think if you read a text and you emotionally connect with it and it just deeply resonates with you, I can understand that, seeing like, well, it feels true and I think it's true. That isn't evidence, but again, from just a human standpoint, like I can understand that experience. I have not seen convincing evidence. So no one so far has produced convincing evidence that the biblical text is completely factually correct. And oftentimes when I'm talking to Christians about why they believe the Bible is true, they haven't first, for example, reviewed every single ancient text and reviewed the historicity of all of those ancient texts and then decided that the Bible was true. Much more commonly, what has happened is it was something they believed, that it felt true, and then after they held that belief, then they went looking for evidence to confirm that belief, which is a little bit of a different process than just kind of starting from scratch and trying to review all the evidence before you make an evaluation. And that second premise, that second assumption that God is good, is also something that I think I was definitely resistant to challenge. And I see this in a lot of the conversations that I have. There are certainly examples, especially in the Old Testament, of God doing things that if we saw anyone else or any other deity doing those things, we would say that's bad. And yet, in order to, I think, maintain the Christian faith, you have to believe that somehow it's good. So allowing yourself to question God's actions, I think, is a scary thing to do. And it definitely can be part of the deconstruction process. So if you are in that process, hi, welcome. I'd love to know, whether these two assumptions are things that you've wrestled with and kind of where you ended up with those. Thanks for joining.